So a lot of you were wondering how I actually got here to Korea, so in this video I will be explaining the general EPIK process and timeline and throw in my own experiences and tips here and there as well. Now for timing purposes, I will be going through each step pretty briefly, but if you want to know more about that particular step or you want me to go in depth on that, just let me know in the comments and I can answer your questions or, make another video entirely for that topic. And just so you have an idea of the timing, I applied in September of 2014 and I didn't actually arrive in Korea for the EPIK orientation until February of 2015. So the entire process for me took about 5 months. It's a long process, there's a lot of waiting, a lot of paperwork, so it's very stressful, but it's well worth it. Alright, so let's go. Number 1, apply to EPIK. And this is considering that you've done your research, you've read blogs, you've watched YouTube videos, and just gathered all the information that you've needed to make the decision that yes, I want to go to Korea. You can apply through different ways. You can apply directly through the EPIK website, or you can apply through a recruiter. There are many recruiters out there, and it is your job to do your research, figure out the pros and cons of applying directly through the website or through a recruiter. For me, I applied through a recruiter. I went through Reach to Teach, and they have been amazing the entire process, so highly recommended, and they helped me through everything. Okay, so let's say you fit all the requirements for EPIK, your application looked good, and you waited a little bit, or maybe a long while, and you hear back, and you get to step number 2, the interview. Now the interview is a Skype interview, but just like any other job interview that's in person, you want to look good, you want to be prepared for any questions that they may ask. And again, my recruiter was so great through this whole process. They went through a practice interview with me, so they asked a bunch of questions that the interviewers would ask. And just some quick tips on the interview process. Like I said, look up practice questions, record yourself and watch yourself. It's very weird, but it'll help you a lot. Have a friend interview you. So do a lot of practicing. You'll have some time, before you actually have the interview. So make sure you prepare very well. Okay, so you passed the interview. Congratulations. Woo! Then you get to step number 3. EPIK needs all of your documents completed and sent. And this is the longest process, I would say, because you're sending these documents, you're waiting so long to get them back. You need your diploma, criminal background check. It's a long ass list, you gotta check the website. While you're waiting for all of your documents, you get to step number 4. You have to get a teaching certificate. And this is if you weren't an English major or a linguistics major or an education major back in university. So if you were, then this step doesn't apply to you, but if you were like me, I was an art major, I had to obtain a teaching certificate. I got a TEFL certificate through Eye2Eye, and I did, I believe, the 120 hours online course. And again, this is for you to do your research. There's a bunch of different companies and websites that you can get either a TEFL, a TESOL, or a CELTA certificate. Okay, so you've sent in your documents to EPIK and you're doing your teaching certificate. EPIK will then send you back your contract and the notice of appointment from the Office of Education that you will be working for. And you're going to take these 2 documents, and step number 5, you're going to apply for your E2 visa. And you can do this at the Korean Consulate General offices. I went to the one in LA, since that's the one I was closest to. And I went, I think, in January of 2015, so a month before my departure to Korea. Thankfully, the E2 visa issuance doesn't take as long as your other documents, so hopefully you get that back within a few days. And you get to step number 6, you arrange your flight to Korea. And once again, my recruiter helped me arrange my flight. Okay, so you have your visa ready to go, you have your teaching certificate ready to go. You get to step number 7, and I will call this the preparation stage. You're in your final weeks before you move to Korea, so you are preparing yourself physically, mentally, and emotionally. You're going to be leaving home very soon, so make sure you're spending time with your family, your friends, you're eating your mom's cooking, you're eating all of your hometown foods because you're not going to get that in Korea for a whole year or more, for however long you're going to stay there. You have to pack, obviously, which is the worst, but I hate packing. I hate it. In the meantime, research more about Korea, watch more videos, read more blogs, and please study Korean. Please study Korean. A lot of foreigners come and they don't know any Korean at all, And maybe they're seasoned travelers or they're just used to living abroad. But for me, like, I had to study Korean. At least know how to read Hangul because that'll help you so much. Yeah, study Korean, and I think it's just, out of respect for the culture. If you're showing that you do hold some basic knowledge of their language, or that you're at least willing to learn more and more about their language and their culture, then it's just going to be so much better for you and for the people that you're working with and just your whole time and your whole experience in Korea. Step number 8, get on that plane and arrive in Korea. And the EPIK orientation process it's typically about 7 to 9 days. And then from there, you move to your placement city and you start working and living in Korea. So I hope this video was helpful for you. Again, let me know in the comments if you have any more questions.